Hello, Professor. My name is Jimmy Lopez, and today I will be presenting the pages that I did for my final project. So the topic that we did was the color line, and then the background that I chose is just a bunch of fists with different skin colors to kind of show how we're all united. And then I kind of provided like a summary or introductory, basically saying that the concept of the color line dives into the complex web of societal divisions that are based off race and ethnicity. Throughout history, we've been able to see the unfair distinctions drawn along racial lines, laws, policies, and more that limited people's accessibility to life. And because of this, opportunities, resources, and social standings were not granted to some while others were. And the color line is important to talk about because it's important to understand how different ethnic groups' racial identities was used to determine how they would or would not be included in society. And then this picture off to the side is a picture of Native Americans because they were one of the groups that were kind of treated differently. And we were able to see that in the book that we read this semester. And then at the bottom are all of our names that are in my group. So this is one of my pages. So this is the page that I did, by the way. So the second page that I did was why is this topic important? And then here's the background picture. So I kind of started it off by talking about what the term the color line is. So the color line is a term known by W.B. Du Bois that refers to the historical and systematic division between black and white people for the most part. But it's also important to take into consideration how it wasn't just those two groups, but also Mexican Americans, Native Americans, Asian Americans, and more. And like I mentioned, chapters in the book, A Different Mirror, do a great job in showing how various ethnic groups showcase how the color line has been able to shape their lives and their narrative. And the examination of the color line is important in order for us to understand the complex dynamics of race, power, and privilege. And then off to the side is W.B. Du Bois and the quote that he had. So moving on, this part right here, I kind of just went into depth on, used a lot of examples from A Different Mirror. I put a lot of page numbers, a lot of different quotes, and I basically talked about how Mexican Americans were treated, how Native Americans were treated, how Asian Americans were treated, and how African Americans were treated, and how their narrative was, and kind of just basically talked about that. And then the pictures off to the side are pictures of segregated schools, like here's just Mexicans, and then here another picture of segregated schools, and then this is just a picture of back then. For example, the laundromat. It says we watch for white people only. And then at the bottom, I kind of just finished it off by saying how the color line is today. I said how the importance of studying the color line helps in showing the structures of inequality and systematic racism. Many forms of this can be seen through segregated schools, education, work opportunities, living, access to resources, immigration, and more. And we were able to see this today with structural racism, disparities in access to a range of healthcare, stereotypes of Mexicans being criminals and stealing people's jobs, and more. And by understanding all of this, people gain the insights and knowledge on the topic and therefore can move forward with a more inclusive and equitable mindset. And by shining a light to immigrants, multiracial people, and marginalized groups, we're able to change the color line today. And what better way there is by using social media. I know at times social media can be seen as a negative thing, but it could also be seen as a good thing, like shining a light on this topic and just letting it be known to people about what's it about and just kind of like educating them. And the color line serves as a way to analyze the connected nature of social categorizations like race, class, and gender. And then off to the side is a picture of people protesting and systematic racism. And then these last two videos, this first one, Crossing the Color Line, he goes into depth and talks about structural racism and kind of how it is today in society. And then the other video is just W.B. Du Bois' The Color Line speech and goes into depth and talks about that. And then at the bottom are all of my references. So thank you so much.